Yo, Steph, we're back right before Thursday night football. But before we get the show started at all, just small talk. College football playoffs rankings are out, and your Ohio State Buckeyes are the number one team in the nation. Is this what you expected? Because honestly, you guys should have
Trying to
lost
point
Notre
to the
Dame. I don't know
there
what
we
you're
go.
doing over there. I don't, Steph.
There.
Oh, you're looking for the. Oh, I thought you put on a
I was
visible
like, I
crown. I
can't
was like,
do
I
for
don't
the
see
mirror
it.
behind me.
I don't see it.
That was so
Uh,
difficult.
uh,
That's the
what's up,
number one.
everybody? Number one. Well, not for long. I feel like whoever starts number one never finishes number one.
Well, I think it really comes down to their strength of schedule. That's what the committee was really hyping on. Georgia hasn't played a ranked opponent. We had 2 top 10s. Michigan hasn't had that yet. Plus, they're dealing with that whole sign stealing scandal that all of the coaches teamed up on and had a conference call. Harbaugh was on the call and he said, "You know what? I'll let you guys sort it out." And he stepped away. I mean,
I don't let them have their fun. Once they lose
college
to
football
Michigan, we
drama is
will.
so intriguing.
We'll be fine. All right, we're waiting for people to get into the chat, get this thing started, Steph. I just had to talk Ohio State at the top with you because as a Cane, you guys stole the championship for us, so you're cursed. You'll never win another one. Ever, ever, ever again, ever. What's up, guys? Everybody watching. Welcome to Cheat Sheet. We're in week 9. Is it week 9 or week 10 of the NFL stuff? It's week 9. Nine's a fun number. Odd numbers are great. Welcome to Cheat Sheet, your last stop before you lock. I'm your host, Jared Quay. I'll be piloting this ship, but I'm not alone because I'm joined by the lovely Stephanie Otey. Otey, are you all good?
I'm all good, Jared. It's always great when you wake up as the number one team in the nation. So, Buckeye strong right here.
Oh, don't be bragging. I hope your fantasy team loses now, Steph. You're just bragging too much. You guys, we got a fun show for you. We got you for about 45 minutes. We got a wonderful guest today. We got D Loves Sports. As you can tell by her name, she loves sports. She's a diehard Steelers fan, so some may call her D Loves Steelers. But for today, we're gonna call her D Loves the Cheat Sheet because she'll be our guest for the day. If you guys may have seen her on her Twitter show, Sports and Coffee, and pretty much she's at a tailgate today because she loves the Steelers so much. So I don't think their fan base is as rowdy as Bills Mafia, but we'll see. But in the meantime, we got to get talking about last week, Steph, with more or less.
More or less. Let's get into it.
Our first more or less is the AFC. Well, who's good? We knew at the beginning of the year they were stacked with talents, all the best quarterbacks. But at this race, the 4 top teams are tied at 6-2, which means nobody's going to just sweep it away. And I guess my question to you is more or less, are there better teams than anyone team not on this list? And of that, which is the best team on this list?
Oh, well, I would say like the Ravens are the least intriguing to me. I know that's surprising. I loved the Jags in the preseason, just looking at the rookie quarterbacks they'd be facing. I definitely liked them to win the AFC South. Now, I mean, the Dolphins obviously and the Chiefs have the strongest offenses in the NFL. So I think it's going to come down to those two to win the AFC. I would like to see the Dolphins just so we don't have to see the Chiefs or Taylor Swift. We've seen enough.
Wow. Are we fading Taylor?
Honestly, I would have loved to see the halftime performance. She turned it down. I would love to see her at halftime. But I think that's a storyline that would just take the Super Bowl by superstorm. I mean, can you imagine?
If Travis Kelce is playing. If Travis Kelce's not playing and she does the halftime show, it's like, dang, Taylor made it before you, Kelce.
Well, when she's in attendance, they tend to win. So
what? Don't you feel like defense wins championships? I feel like the only team on here with a good defense is the Ravens. I personally would be a little salty if the Ravens win the championship because my brother was on that team last year and I wanted them to win, and then they're going to wait till a year after he leaves and go to the championship. No, Jim Harbaugh. No, John Harbaugh. I'm sorry. The chat is really dry today. If you're watching this, guys, shout your name out where you're from, and I'll shout you out, guys. All right, we'll get to our next more or less, Steph. This is a big one. Big topical hit right here. Boom! Shiloh Sanders got ejected for this as he's flexing. I don't think he knew he was going to get ejected. This 5 years ago was a good hit. This was, highlight ESPN-worthy type of hit. And this got him ejected. As you see, they freeze frame it on. He kind of led with the shoulder. What are your thoughts? Obviously, we understand concussions are a problem, but what are your thoughts?
I don't want to get skewed by the team that's doing the flexing because they talk a lot of talk and then they kind of fell off. But I know it just really depends on the context, depending on who it is. The Colorado team has just gone like really chaotic with the drama and everything like that. So I'll say more, but there's a line if you overdo it. So just don't overdo it.
No, I feel like hits like that. I mean, I'm sorry. I get the Antonio Brown, Vontez Burfict. Like that's a little bit all right late and all that. But if
That
you
was
can't hit a, I thought there was a reason why you shouldn't cross. Like you being a slot receiver, you have to be tough because you knew you could take a hit. And so I don't know. I
Mhm.
mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want anyone getting hurt out there, but I just miss
Yeah.
football where you can just, it was, you tried to, punish them a little bit. So I'm a little upset about that. Obviously, Shiloh Sanders is a big marquee name because of who his father is. So this made more media coverage than it should be. But yeah, I want less of ejecting for hits like that. All right. All right. And then my last, more or less, obviously Halloween was just 2 days ago. More Halloween costumes from athletes. Look at Wimby. Victor Wayomama had. I can't say his last name yet. Can you say his last name, Steph?
No, I can't. But I don't know what he's being.
It's Wimbenyama. He's Slenderman, which is a very popular thing for the kids.
Oh,
I'm not a
that's
kid.
is
Isn't White
that still
supposed
a thing? Is Slenderman still like a topic? I just my true crime self remembered the story where like kids took that a little too seriously and had some horrible aftermath. But like the Slender Man, was he like actually a show or was it just an online topic? Like, what's the background of Slender Man?
I don't know. I think it's a game, but what I'm more or less worried about is like, isn't White supposed to make you look fat? He looked like slim, skinny. Like he looked too big. I don't know. I know I'm seeing him doing calisthenics, but I just don't know how many years he got in him being
That
122
costume-
pounds, 7'20".
I like the
Yeah.
funny costumes. The scary one, I don't like the scary ones. And that one,
Well then,
not
what
scary.
about this one then? You'll like this one. Show the next one, can you?
Oh,
Yeah, how about this costume? That's
good.
scary and funny.
I hope you're gonna play the little boy that wore the Dolphins gear and he did the little run. You know what I'm talking about? The little boy that was reenacting Coach. It was like a little
Oh,
kid, and then they asked
doing
him
the Mike
about it. And
McDaniel. He did the Mike
yeah, and they
McDaniel,
were
right?
like, "Did you
Okay.
know that people or little kids like you're the hot costume?" And he's like, "Me," and his response was just so confused why anybody would dress up as him. It was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, well, Mike McDaniels is literally a comedian as a coach, so he should be.
No,
If you had a camera follow him around, it'd be coverage, good
this was
content.
the winner. I like this
Yeah,
costume.
but
Funny man, Slenderman was scary.
no, if he's gonna do it, you got to put a skirt on. I'm sorry, DeAndre
Okay.
DeAndre Jordan.
He's about to go on the plane. Like you don't want to wear a skirt on the whole plane ride. That's
I've
comfort.
never wore a skirt, so I wouldn't know.
Taylor.
But
Comfort swim.
I feel like it's more freedom, right? You can stretch. All right, it's too much. All right,
Ooh,
next costume,
Cowboys is on. Even
please.
though she doesn't really
Next
Cowboys
costume,
on.
please.
No,
This
I
here
don't
is
understand.
Flash Garrett. It's scary. I feel like he's already scary enough being a huge human being on the D
Yes.
line. But
Just
this is
imagine seeing that in like a dark setting, like a dark alleyway or something. No.
well, if you take the mask off here, I feel like it's just a Kanye West outfit. It's just literally Yeezys. That's what people are wearing. But that mask is scary.
I saw a lot of Coach Primes too. That's a fun one. And it's like that one's comfortable too. Wear a cowboy hat and a Colorado sweatshirt. That was another good one. I don't love the scary ones. They just scare me.
There we go.
Especially
All
when
right,
they're such small humans.
Chet, you tell us who wins the best costume. Is it Wembley? Is it DeAndre Jordan or Flash Garrett with the scary one, Chet? We don't really have a prize. I just want to see what you guys think. Oh, Tyler Heineke had the best one. That's what they love. Tyler Heineke, the new starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. Just for this week, but I was so proud when he came in. I like Ritter. I don't know if Lewinsky's on here. He's going to be pretty upset. But the second half of that game, we had a much better offense, but that's just me. All right, but we're going to kick it into superlatives, right, Steph? That's what we want to do next?
Superlatives.
Yeah. All right, Steph. I want to know who is this week's dynamic duo?
This week's dynamic duo is an obvious one. As you can see on the screen, 49ers acquired Chase Young in a huge deal that really buffers out their defense. He joins his former Buckeye teammate in Nick Bosa. I covered them at Ohio State. I mean, Larry Johnson, their D-line coach, has got to be so proud. Having these two reunite is something that Ohio State fans have been begging for. They didn't get the chance to see it at Ohio State because Nick got hurt and he declared for the draft early. Chase steps up to the plate, and when I was covering him at Ohio State, he would always ask me, are they still talking about the Bosas and the press box? He wanted to know if he could surpass this giant name that is just holding over his head. He would use Nick as his rabbit. Like he would try to chase him. If he saw him get a sack, he wants one too. It was a great competition that I think will play very well for them with the 49ers. And there was one weekend, Chase was suspended and he got back from a 3-game suspension, played Wisconsin, put up 4 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. The very next day, Nick Bosa goes off on the Panthers with 3 sacks and an interception, not to mention big brother Joey also recorded 2 sacks against the Bears. This is a huge pass rush boost that they get right here for the 49ers. Combined at Ohio State, Nick Bosa and Chase Young as teammates in 2017 to 2018, they recorded 174 quarterback pressures and 42 sacks. Can you imagine them at the highest stage? This is a huge get for the 49ers.
It's not a tell of the rich getting richer though. I just feel like this is Jeff Bezos getting the PPP loan. I just feel like they already have one of the best defenses. They took from the Commanders, who I think our defense was all they had, and now you got this defense, possibly number one defense. And honestly, they lost their last 3, so I get why they're searching. But you can't put these two on the same team. It's a cheat code. And why do the 49ers keep winning the trade deadline? I need answers, Steph.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a big question for them. I was just talking to our producer. We're trying to pull up some interviews that I had with Chase, just talking about.
You know Chase.
And who's your favorite sports reporter?
Come
on,
Stephanie.
Thanks, Chase.
Yeah, we did happen to get that. It was fast questions. The last one, there was a little pause. There was a little pause there, but he got the answer correct.
Is Steph is he still all right, next cheat sheet? I want him to FaceTime us. Can you just FaceTime him? Let's just surprise FaceTime him. Pull his number out now, Steph, and FaceTime him. No, I'm joking. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right, Steph. Keeping us moving. Who is this week's late to class?
Late to class, Joe Burrow. As the talk has been, he shows up late to the season, but he was dealing with an injury like he has in previous seasons. Slow start, but then, as we just saw this past weekend, completed 28 of 32 passes, a Bengals record 87.5% completion, and threw 3 touchdown passes against the 49ers, who we were just talking about. Good thing he got them before his former teammates were reunited. That would have been pretty scary for him. He also had 6 carries for 43 yards. His prior season highs were 4 carries and 7 yards. But he was sacked 3 times. But as we saw in that game, he still looks very well recovered. And when you compare it to how he was before he started to say, I'm feeling more like myself around week 5, he only managed 58% completion percentage, 2 passing scores, 2 interceptions, a total QBR of 34 over the first 4 games. And then after he started to say, oh, I'm feeling better, those numbers went significantly up, 78% completion percentage. That's the best in the NFL. 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 68 total QBR over the past 3 games. I mean, he's definitely stepped it up in the first 4 games. Yeah, I mean, there were some concerns around the Bengals. I think it was an early scare. It was a little premature. He was dealing with that injury that he had in the preseason. And yeah, now that ever since he said, I'm feeling more like myself, I'm back to 100, it was proven this past weekend. I mean, the way he performed, even though he took some hits, looking great, and he's back into his playoff form.
You know my theory. He just got paid all that big money. He had to spend that money, and now he's playing like he's broke again. He's like, I gotta he might hold out next year because he went out and bought a yacht. Now he has to play like he needs to get a new contract. All right, I'm just joking. All right, and last but
teams you saw on the AFC that we talked about earlier. So
how come all your superlatives are Ohio State players? What's going on? What's going on here? I'm just noticing.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you said that because yes, I view Joe Burrow as a Buckeye. He mentioned us before LSU in his Heisman speech, but most people would not consider him a Buckeye.
He's not. I'm just doing that to connect.
He's still in the state of Ohio. He's a Buckeye.
Right. Yeah, all right. In the same way that Peyton Manning is a Bronco, right? All right. Last but not least, who's in the principal's office this week, Steph?
Well, you know, we submit these pretty early in the week, and I submitted this to our producer early for Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels is up next. I had, as you can see, Josh McDaniels, he got fired the very next day after we submitted these graphics. But you can just see on the board here, blew 5 double-digit leads, failed to score 20 points in 9 of the past 10 games. He lost to a high school coach in Friday, lost to a Division II undrafted quarterback. I mean, the list goes on and on. Looking at some of the others in the hot seat, I had a meeting with an NFL agent this morning, and we were talking about
big time.
We were talking about who could be up next, and we talked about Ron Rivera with Washington, him and I agreed. We probably expect him to finish out the season. He rode the terrible ending with the Dan Snyder era in Washington that let him ride it out. He also battled cancer while dealing with all of that in
Yeah, you
2020.
can't fire a guy to just beat cancer.
Yeah, but there's a rumor going around about Bill Belichick in Washington,
Oh,
their
that'd
new
be
ownership
sad.
with Josh Harris wanting to reach out to Belichick after the season ends and seeing if they can make a push. But I expect Riviera to finish the season. You can also look at Meb Eberflus and the contact I spoke with today. Yeah, there's a lot of controversies in an 0-4 start. You have their quarterback commenting on the coaching responsibility for his poor play and lack of development. You have their defensive coordinator just very suddenly resigning and all the odd details there that went unknown. They also told Chase Claypool to just stay away from the facility. Their running back coach as well also out. So there's a lot going on with the Bears. He expects them to hold on to him a little longer. I can't say. You also look at LaFleur and Green Bay. Looking at some of the stats I pulled, I mean, this is pretty remarkable. He's in year 5 as a head coach, and the regular season, his record's 47-19. Among all other coaches in the NFL to coach 50 games on the same amount in their resume. LaFleur's winning percentage is 71%. That's 4th best all time compared to all those other coaches with 50 games. The others, Guy Chamberlain, John Madden, Vince Lombardi, all Hall of Famers, right? Like, great go. And then ever since they lost Devontae Adams and they lost Aaron Rodgers, things have gone downhill. They're 2-5. There's been no progress after losing Rodgers, and you have to get Jordan Love in there. That hasn't adjusted well. So you could look at him on the hot seat as well as the Chargers, Branson Staley. I don't know if any of them are going to be fired in the season unless they lose a long stretch of games. I thought the Raiders. I mean,
it's rare to get fired in the season, but Josh McDaniels is that bad. Here's my theory of the Josh McDaniels. You ready? He does well with the Patriots. He gets his high credibility. I used to be a Broncos fan because I grew up in Denver, surprise, surprise. But one year they decided to hire Josh McDaniels from the Patriots. He moves up in the draft to draft Tim Tebow, who I went to U. He went to Florida, so he's kind of a rival. And he sucked, and then they fired him right away. And to be honest with you, this is just my theory. I think the Patriots are sending Josh McDaniels to other AFC teams that are threats to tank him from inside and then come back. He's on his way back to being a Patriots coach in no time. Josh McDaniels is the biggest spy since the Cold War.
The biggest spy?
That's just my theory.
I think that award goes to Michigan's assistant coach.
Get out of it. They're juniors compared to the Patriots. Patriots cheat so well. Look at this. Yeah, DeAndre Jones, look at it. He's just like, Josh McDaniels. That's what he's saying. Hey, you got to beep it out. Yeah. All right, in the chat, someone thinks I look good in the chat. Thank you, Snooze Fighting, for saying I look nice today. Looks like the chat's pretty active. Chat, who's the worst coach besides Josh McDaniels on the current NFL coaching list that you think may be getting fired? Yeah. We'll keep that up. But in the meantime, Steph, it's time for my new segment. This is our 3rd time doing it. Woo. It's time for Flag on the Quay. Yeah, look at that. That's a handsome picture of me right there, getting ready to throw some flags. My first flag on the Quay goes to Flavor Flav. Yes, that's right. Flavor Flav, the rapper from Public Enemy, is singing the national anthem. Listen to this. I am sorry. All right, that's a 15-yard flagrant penalty, Flav. I can't have that. Although it is slightly better than Fergie, I do think that was a terrible rendition. Flavor Flav, stick to getting married on VH1 with different seasons every year. That's a 15-yard flag on the Quay. Up next, this is a crazy clip. This here is a clip of a woman getting, whoa, you can't do that, sir. I'm sorry, but that literally was worse than Shiloh Sanders. That guy should be ejected from life. I don't know why you hit this girl this hard. Flag on the play. 39-yard flag and turnover on downs. I don't know whatever I can call on that one. And last but not least, Monday Night Football. This may be just an angle trip. This is not a flag. This is a plus. Watch Jahmyr Gibbs score and watch this woman body him. She picked him up. She lifted him up because she'd been in that squat room right there. That is literal doing the work right there. That's using her legs, not her back. Stand up from her, and then Jahmyr Gibbs in his first NFL blowout game, he gets to celebrate in the fans like almost no one does that. So shout out to Jahmyr Gibbs. No flag on the play. I'm picking it up because this is amazing. Thank you, lady. Steph, any rebuttals on any of my flags? You want me to pick any of those flags up?
I thought Flav could have gotten a higher penalty. That was really bad. But also, it's funny. I think maybe the younger generation may not find it as funny because they may not be as familiar with him. But I thought that was hysterical. I remember his reality show, Flavor of Love. Did you watch that?
The younger generation. You act like you were a Public Enemy fan. Like you were like, yeah, back in the 80s.
Do they please put in the chat if you know of Flavor of Love? That was such a great show. It was like during the time of Jersey Shore, and
I don't know. That's before
all the girls' nicknames, Pumpkin and
Flavor of Love is like it's like one of the pioneers of reality TV. Like reality TV wasn't big until Flavor of Love. Yeah.
Yes. But that girl lifting up kids. Jeez, I want to work out with her.
I don't think she really did. It's more of an angle trick. I think he was climbing, but it did look like she was like, "Get up here, boy!" Like it was scary.
Like I can't believe he also like went to her and was like, "You can lift me. You got me." Like,
no,
good for him though. They finally gave him the ball. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I mean, now it's time for B-John to get it because as Falcons, we need to rise up. All right, guys, we're going to be right back after this commercial guest with a special guest. So you guys, we'll be back in a second. Boom, just like that, we're back with D Loves Sports. D, who loves sports. I take it that you're excited for the game today. We got the Steelers taking on
the Titans.
Yeah.
Yes, we are taking on the Titans, Tennessee Titans. I'm so excited. I'm actually out here at the tailgate, so super excited.
D, I think
you're not drunk yet.
D, do you remember Clubhouse? Is that where you and I connected?
Yes.
I knew it. I was
Twitter.
Yes, like Clubhouse
I
is like
coffee on Twitter Spaces.
Yes, I knew like coffee talk. That's how I knew of you. Like Clubhouse was very short lived, but I got so many good relationships from that little era of coffee talk, or of Clubhouse rather. But yeah, so excited to come full circle and you're joining us now. The one question I had though, I know you're a big Pittsburgh fan, but also Penn State.
Absolutely.
I'm a Ohio Stater. There we go. So it's intriguing because I come from a state that also has two NFL teams. The college team is obviously my favorite, but the fan base, I'm curious if it's Pittsburgh. If the Steelers don't do well, do you then flip to the Eagles? Like I don't really have I'm not Browns or Bengals. I'm all Ohio State. More so Bengals with Burrow in there, but I'll work for either. Are you one or the highway or what?
No, it's Pittsburgh Steelers or nothing for me. So yeah, and you know maybe I'll pick up an NFC team at some point, but it's Pittsburgh Steelers or nothing for me.
Are the Pittsburgh? What's the biggest difference between the Steelers fans and the Eagles fans? Because Philly has a reputation as fans. What's the difference between them?
So Philly's a whole different type of Philly. That's a whole different type of city. You know, this is the Steel City. Philadelphia, they say brotherly love, but I don't know where they get that from. But that's a rougher city than Pittsburgh. I'm trying to tell you, those fans they're a little brutal. They have a jail in their stadium for a reason.
I got you. All right, here's a couple questions. I have a couple questions for you. A, why are you not drunk right now? It's a Steelers tailgate. It's probably 23 degrees out there. How are you sober right now?
You are the reason why. I didn't want to get on the camera drunk. You want me to come on here drunk?
Last week our guest.
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted.
Last week our guest had a fun time.
All right, and then secondly, all right, and this is just what we ask everybody, all right, as a diehard Steelers fan, who is your Pittsburgh Steelers Mount Rushmore? That means the four faces of the Steelers. Who are for you? Who would be on your picks more?
For me, I'm starting with Troy Polamalu. I have to. Like, I absolutely have to. Then you go Ben Roethlisberger. Then we'll get a little bit closer. We'll do TJ Watt, because, I mean, this guy's going to be a Hall of Famer. Cam, and then this guy, Minkah Fitzpatrick, y'all. Minkah Fitzpatrick. No. He's on the Mount Rushmore for me. Yes, he will be.
Mount Rushmore.
He absolutely has to be.
I think Antonio Brown belongs to Mount Rushmore. Antonio Brown, take away his off the field life. He was one of the best receivers of all time.
Like, makes it even better. He's so
I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
All right. And then this is a question from the chat.
We'll see when he gets in the Hall of Fame.
Someone said, is Tomlin on the hot seat? That's what the chat is saying. Is Mike Tomlin on the hot seat if they lose this game?
No,
is he unfireable forever?
Not.
Well, that does give me a
They don't do that, right? I mean, it's a contract.
They only had 3 coaches.
They don't fire coaches. They don't fire
They've
coaches.
only had 3 coaches.
So,
Yeah,
I know you're an advocate
He'll
for
retire.
Matt Canada. D, you're a big advocate for Matt Canada, where a lot of people aren't. You are backing him. Wondering if you could make the case for him, for all the doubters out there. I mean, there's a lot of people begging for him to be removed from the team. Can you make the case for him? You've been advocating for him
So
and having his back.
Absolutely, he's a part of the team. If you are a true Pittsburgh fan, you're loyal. He's gonna be here. Like this is his year. They don't fire people in the middle of the season. You'll get lucky. You the best you could hope for is some college somewhere says, "Hey, in December, Matt, come over. We got a job for you," and then he leaves early. He's not going anywhere. So buckle up and enjoy the ride. That's how I feel.
You better
about
get commission on his next job offer. You better get some
Yeah,
commission.
like
You're a true
so just
teammate.
buckle
You're a
up.
true teammate. So would you say?
Yeah.
I know you're a teammate, so you're not gonna fault anyone. But who is more at fault? Is it Canada or Pickett?
It's execution for the most part, right? I think they're going to make some differences. Canada's going to be on the sideline as opposed to being up in the box, but it's really execution and communication. I've seen them improve. I've even seen the play calling definitely improve, but it's execution. The guys know it on the field, know it. The fans don't want to accept it. Matt Canada's just like a low-hanging fruit target, so they go after that, but it's really execution.
Did you see that?
Someone in the chat.
He was getting interviewed. He was getting interviewed, and a reporter dropped their phone, and he goes, "Oh, they're going to say I'm responsible for that, and I'm not."
That's so sad. It's so sad. It's terrible.
I
feel
appreciate
so
you
bad for
having
the
me
man.
back, though. That's loyalty.
Yeah,
That's
I have
loyalty.
to.
Appreciate that.
Unfortunately, I
Someone in the
have to
chat-
sit next to his family when someone's yelling "Fire Matt Canada." Like it's terrible.
You got to echo it to the family. They saying fire your family member. All right. Someone in the chat
No,
said
I
Axe
can't do
Madden
that.
gives better play calls. Someone said Axe Madden gives better play calls than Matt Canada. So, yeah, shout out to AI and the Madden game.
That's
Y'all,
not true.
and
That's not
just
true.
for D and the chat, who's in a worse spot as a quarterback then? Is it Pickett or Justin Fields?
Is it Pickett or who?
Justin Fields.
I think Justin Fields. Kenny Pickett. This is his first full year as a starter. Justin Fields has had a couple years under his belt. Unfortunately, a lot of things aren't clicking over there. But I feel like Kenny Pickett has another full year where he has to, do something, kind of put up. But I would say Justin Fields for sure.
So you don't want any coaches. You want the coaching staff to remain the same next season.
Say it again.
So you don't want any changes with the coaching staff next season. But is there?
Oh, this is Matt Canada's last year. This is last year now. His contract is up this year, so I believe there'll be another OC next year. But we're just gonna have to ride the wave of Matt Canada. Steelers aren't firing anybody in the middle of the season. I'd be shocked if they ever did that.
Well, this is my question to you. As a former Ravens fan, how come the Steelers always beat the Ravens? It doesn't matter if they're terrible. They just find a way to beat the Ravens. I'm surprised. I don't know what it is. Are you guys cheating like the Patriots? It is confusing.
No, it's AFC North football. It's defensive football. You got coaches that have – Mike Tomlin has been on this team for 17 years. This is nothing new. They know each other well. They play each other well. It just is what it is. It's going to be a battle every single time.
But it hasn't been it's been one-sided. All right, let's get to let them cook. We know it's cold out there. You need to get some drinks in you. We're gonna let you cook real quick, all right? D has some picks for this weekend, so it's time for let her cook. Let's go, D. All right, D. This is how this is gonna work, all right? The chat's gonna help us out. Chat, if you can't help us out, she sent us some picks, and we're gonna let you add these to the plate. And if the chat is rocking with you, gonna keep cooking, all right? So your first pick, I'll put up here, is this weekend. You got Chris Boswell and Nick Folk to have more than 3.5 field goals made. Oh, no,
for sure.
Lamar Jackson. Sorry, I said the wrong one. Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson more than one and a half pass received to touchdown. Why do you think about this?
Well, I like that. Oh, I like that.
I think Lamar Jackson gets 2 touchdowns, passing or rushing. 2 touchdowns will happen against Seattle. I believe they're playing the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, their defense ain't it. Yeah, they did just upgrade.
That looked like a gimme right there.
Yeah, and you got the local insurance policy with it being a little flexible.
The irony that we just talked about the Ravens, you hyped them up. So yeah, we like that. A Steelers fan putting a Raven on their letter cook. And the chat says you're cooking. They like it. They want the more.
North Ball.
I know it, D. D knows sports. It's in your title. It's in your title. All right. Up next, you got Justin Tucker, more than 1.5 field goals made.
Again,
more Ravens.
I know AFC North.
More Ravens.
Let's go.
He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Is he the GOAT? Would you say he's the best kicker of all time?
Yeah. He's Billy.
I know the greatest kicker of all time.
No.
I'm sorry.
He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Chat. Is Justin Tucker the GOAT?
Vinatieri?
He has a record for the longest field goal made. Vinatieri just has some big kicks and big moments. Justin Tucker is the GOAT. All right. Either way, we'll keep cooking.
Okay.
She's cooking. You got Tank Dell in the Texans. You got him getting more than 3.5 receptions. Explain yourself, ma'am.
I love him and CJ Stroud. I love their chemistry. I really think that they'll be able to get it done. So they have really good chemistry out in Houston. So I'm four receptions. More. I'm going more. I would do more than 4, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And in the chat, Steph said that Morton Anderson is the greatest kicker of all time. Steph, I have to disagree with you. It's Justin Tucker. All right. And the last, let her cook, is Gus Edwards, more than 50.5 rushing yards. And we love this because the Ravens, the Gus bus is moving. Can we use the name of the bus? Are you keeping that for Jerome Bennett?
Yeah.
Can we take the bus? Can Gus be the bus now? I don't think she heard me. Right?
Yeah, Gus the bus. You can Gus. That's what they call him, but we don't believe it. Just like they took "Don't Blink" from us, but it's okay. No worries.
No, but when you say the bus,
flattery, right?
Edwards,
Imitation flattery.
Yeah.
You absolutely do. So I'm like, if you guys want to use Gus, but the bus, it's fine. It's imitation, flattery, all that good stuff go together.
All right. Well, yeah, you got him more than 50.5 rushing yards. I think this is a wonderful dish. It looks delicious. I like it. It's mostly Ravens, and that's what we like about it because you rock with the Ravens too. So there we go. You guys, Steph, if you guys want to follow D Love Sports, let him cook. It will be in the app somewhere. I don't know exactly where the promos tab, but you can. All right, let's get talking about this game tonight. When it's freezing, give us just a prediction. Is it going to be a blowout? Is it going to be a close game? Is it going to be the Steelers scoring 1,000 points? Is it going to be literally a 3-6 game that no one wants to watch on TV?
I have it low scoring. I do see it being a defensive battle. We know the Steelers struggle getting into the end zone. I don't think it necessarily changes instantly with Matt Cannon to be on the sideline, but I think it will change. I do have it low scoring. Will Levis has never seen this pass rush. It's not the Atlanta pass rush of last week. So I have it 13-17 Steelers. I think the Steelers do come away with this. And the big thing is that defense causes turnovers. They just do. So Will Levis just be prepared.
There we go.
First time on the road as a starter. He's up against Watt.
Alex Highsmith. Like, people discount Alex Highsmith. He has been so consistent, y'all. So consistent.
I think you guys could take advantage of Will Levis being a rookie. I think you guys can get him. Yeah. If
TJ Watt in his face.
Welcome to the party, Will Levis.
Yeah, TJ Watt. I'm a Falcons fan. They beat the Falcons. The Falcons don't have the best pass rush, so he didn't have a lot of pressure on them.
Right.
You got TJ Watt in your face. It's gonna be a little hard as a rookie on the road. So I don't know if he's gonna be the Will Levis savior that they think he is.
Yeah.
Hold on, before we go, I forgot to play my favorite game, guys. I forgot. It was on me. It's time for The Pick Is Right. All right, The Pick Is Right. It's our play on The Price Is Right, all right? I'm going to show you a player, and we're going to talk projections, okay? And we're going to talk passing yards. You guys are going to guess their projection, and depending on what you guess, we know whether you like them more or less than them, all right? The first player that I'm picking right now is Tua Tagovailoa. What do you think his passing yards projection is, or should be?
Who are they playing?
I'll start with you first, Steph. Steph first. I'm starting with Steph first.
Okay. I want to say like 275. 275.
Chat, don't cheat. Don't help her, chat.
I'm not looking at the chat, but I do want to pull up who they play.
They play the Chiefs.
Okay. I'll stick with that.
All right, and then all right, D. What we love. What do you think Tua Tagovailoa's passing projection is
Oh, for his yard, what his projection is, it has to be
for
like
passing?
240, 240.
Low score. Okay. All
40.
right. The actual total is 286.5. So we have to give it to Steph there. She was closer.
286.
But yeah, it looks like both of you guys like the less than. So yeah, that's where we're at. Up next, we
Okay.
got Jordan Love. Jordan Love in his first season as the starting quarterback. What do you guys think Jordan Love's passing projection is or should be?
Like, to play the Rams. I'm leaning towards like 200. I'll say 210. I'll give him a little bit more than 200, but I'll give him 210.
Okay, 210. D, can you hear us? Are you still with us? You got your
Yeah,
audio?
sorry, lost my earpiece. But yes, this is for
Jordan
Love.
Love.
Yeah, Jordan Love. I'm gonna give him like 190.
Oh,
He
okay.
can sling the ball though. I want to.
Still lower than me.
So Steph,
He can sling the ball, but I'm gonna give him 190.
Right between us.
So you got 240, Steph, and D, you got 190?
I said 210.
210.
Yeah, I started
All
at
right.
200 and I went to 210.
The actual projection is 223.5. Steph, you win again. I'm
Oh.
getting surprised. I think you're cheating.
That's really high
right.
for him.
D, you got to win this one, Elisa. All right. Derek Carr.
All right.
Derek Carr, the gunslinger from
Okay.
the Saints, who's been on a little bit of a winning streak.
Yeah.
What do you think his projection in pass yards to be this week?
215.
Steph, go with you. 215? All right, 215 on Derek Carr. Steph, what about you?
He's had 300 yards past 3 games, but then he was under 200 before that. So I would say, like in the middle, how much did D say?
She said 215.
215? I would say, I want to say 250, but yeah, I'll say 250. I feel like that's so.
Steph, you win again. You've been cheating. I swear, I don't know how she's doing it.
I don't even know who they're playing.
It's 244. You've been too close on every one of them, Steph. I don't know where your cheat sheet is.
Look at his stats. He had 300-yard games back to back to back. The past 3 games, he had
all he does is pass it to Alvin.
Obviously,
Kamara.
they didn't tell me about this game. I would have paid attention.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can cheat. We don't tell you so you can be like, oh, let me study. No, we got to get you on the fly. That's what we wanted. You're fine. All right, let's get back to the Steelers. Last before we go, what are your picks for this game tonight on PrizePicks? What do you like for this game?
Oh man,
I can tell him. Do you know?
I definitely have field goals. Yes.
Yeah, more.
I definitely have the kickers kicking field goals. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game, so I'm good with that. 4 field goals being made, good with that. Jaylen Warren, he is great. I love him. 7 rushing attempts at minimum. I think he could probably do 9. Patrick Peterson, we are missing the Minkah Fitzpatrick, so 3+ tackles, like that's money. More for there, like that's easy for me. So those are just simple for me. Missing your best tackler, which was Minkah Fitzpatrick, someone has to fill in, and it's definitely going to be Patrick Peterson playing in that slot position and all over the field.
Boom. I love it. I hope Jaylen Warren does well too. I was watching your Instagram video. He got fined more than what he made last week for one of his blocks. So yeah, hopefully he gets a 100-yard game. Yeah. I'm just hoping that he manifests. It gets him some more
Absolutely. You got to get that man some endorsement deals.
D, we love your picks. I know it's freezing out there, and you did an amazing job being out here with us when you really want to be partying and drinking. Do you mind showing us around? Can we see the environment, or you don't want to show us that?
Oh, yeah. You want to see the tailgate? Let me show you guys.
Let's
Say hi, everybody. Say hi, everybody.
Hey!
I say that from Nashville, Tennessee.
Dang, that sounds like fun. That looks like it's a great time. Well, D, we appreciate you. You guys, if you're watching,
ever in town.
All right, you guys are watching this. You guys definitely go follow D on all her social platforms and get in on her Twitter, Coffee and Sports. D, thank you for coming on and having a good time with us. Let's go have a good time and watch this game. And hopefully the Steelers eat a W.
Absolutely, y'all. Go Steelers. Here we go.
Thank you for coming on and helping us out, all right?
She is so sweet.
She's great. And she's like saving.
She is.
She's saving being like sober just so she can talk to us. Now she's about to go take like 5 shots because I feel like you can't be in the cold without.
That's how it would always be for me. I would always work. So I would have a noon game. I'd have to get to the station at like 8 to get to the field at 9. And then we would have post game. I wouldn't get done until 10. It'd be like a 12, 13-hour day. Everybody had already been out. So then they're like, all right, time to catch up. Time to catch up.
Look at the chat has been very active today. I see LaRuski entered the chat. LaRuski, I was talking about Heineke, man. I know he's going to be mad because he's a Ritter fan. Chat, thank you for being very active today. Everyone's been really enjoying that. We're going to go ahead and let this, but now we got a couple minutes. I want to talk more about you, Steph. Is there any squares that you like to keep a look on for this weekend, huh? You know your stats. What squares?
Well,
am I putting you on the spot there?
Yeah, there's some interesting. Well, for tonight, I wanted to ask D about Pickett's pass attempts because you can't run against the Titans, but you can pass. And I like that you have an option to do attempts on the app because I wouldn't want to take completions for him.
but you will definitely take.
If you have the option for attempts, that looks great because you know he's going to be forced into a position. Derrick Henry was looking for a trade, staying put in Tennessee. I think that with Will Levis on the road, I would expect him to get the ball a lot, be a little bit of a cushion.
The Steelers' run defense isn't very great. Their pass defense is amazing, but their run defense is their weakness, so that he can't get a lot of yards.
Yeah, I feel like the Titans will have to do it on the ground, and then the Steelers through the air. I agree with D. I think it's going to be lower scoring. Another matchup I wrote on this for the lab over on PrizePicks. An interesting matchup between Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts. Interestingly about that one is that Dak Prescott was the NFL leader in interceptions last year. And this year, Jalen Hurts, although they only lost one game, he has more interceptions. He's second in the NFL with most at 8. Only Garoppolo has more with 9. So
did you see? Oh, I'm sorry. I just bring this up. Did you see they benched Garoppolo and then the Raiders tweeted out "Happy Birthday" to him? I was like, "Oh, that was your birthday present. You benched him."
Which team was it that they let a guy go, and then I think their marketing team had like scheduled a birthday tweet for him? Was it? Do you know what I'm talking about? That happened earlier this season where I forget which team it was, but they let a guy go on their practice squad and then proceeded. Like, that's just a prime example of like, get your marketing team in touch with the front office.
Nah, I mean, get out of here. Even when you break up with a girl, you got to send her happy birthday text, even if it's the same day. I'm just joking. Well, guys, we got football coming up. Chat, I want to help you guys out, all right? If you guys are watching this show and you haven't had a chance to, we have the PrizePicks World Championship coming up. It's starting this Sunday, guys. Ride with the winning team, and you will receive a free entry for a chance to win $2,000. Go to prizepicks.com/PPWC. I'm personally taking Trent with the Booker team. I like him. But obviously, Drewski, DC Youngfly, Desi Banks, Funny Marco, T Grizzly. All of these guys have their picks. So please, if you guys get a chance, don't miss out on being a free opportunity to possibly win $2,000. You guys have fun. Thank you, chat, for having a good time with me. Steph.
Before Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, too. Make sure you choose your teams by the deadline. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Steph, who you taking before we go? Who would you follow at all?
I'm going to go with TT.
Oh, T Grizzly?
Yeah, we've had him on twice, and he's always been so sweet to everyone listening. Whenever T gets off the show, he's always so kind to us and makes us feel right at home with him. So, and I was over the moon. I was so flabbergasted when he brought stats, and it was just like some of the same stats that I had, and I was like, T, whoa! I thought I over evaluated these games because I was like, I was not expecting that, and he came with receipts.
With that heat.
Yeah, so because of
I
him,
love it.
Great guest and partner.
Steph's taking T. I'm taking Trent. And you guys need to be taking someone to get this money.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in to Cheat Sheet. We will see you next week.